All right, so a few housekeeping things. We're here at kyvl.org, and I'm going to show you this padlock in the upper right-hand corner. Students and faculty and administrators, anyone with a school email address can request the ID and password to be emailed to them. So if you go to the padlock and do request password, put in your school email address, and we have a lot of students do this. I know exactly when there's a group project or a class assignment because we'll get many requests for the ID and password through this form. And basically you put in your email and you'll get a reply almost instantaneously with the ID and password for Bell County. Another thing I want to show you is under For Librarians. Librarians Toolbox, and then over here on the left, Handouts and Outlines. I want to show you this poster. And so what this poster is, it's an 11 by 17. Sheila and, oh, okay. Got more joining.
I'm having major.
Okay. All right, for those of you who have just joined us, please put your name and your school in the chat box. And then we'll do the same at the end of the session. I think this will take about an hour. And that will prove that you were here. And I share that with Jennifer Yankee. So you get your PD credit. So put your name and school in the chat box. Okay, so what this poster does, it's 11 by 17. It is a PDF. It shows you the K12 resources. So the collections are down the left. And then the categories. So if there are eBooks, graphic novels, encyclopedia articles, magazines, newspapers, images, video, maps, and atlases. And then the last half of the columns are the features. So audio or text-to-speech, translation, Lexile, citations, and Google Classroom integration. And as I understand it from previous sessions, this is the first year that you all will be using Google Classroom. So just know that you can create assignments from within KYVL resources and add them to your Google Classroom. So you can add materials, you can add links to eBooks, things like that. So it makes it very easy. All right, those of you who have just joined, just be aware we're recording this session and I'll post it to our YouTube channel. And please put your name and school in the chat box. And we'll do the same at the end of the session to prove that you were here for the PD. The other thing I want to show you here on this page is the scavenger hunts. So let's look at grades 3 through 5. And then it's just questions on the resources, and there is an answer key for each of these. So there is a Word version. If you just want to use some of the questions, you don't have to use the whole thing, but just know that that's available for you. And then further down here, we have these quick reference handouts. There's one for elementary, there's one for middle, and one for high. And it's just something that you might send to parents or students. It lists some of the resources, and then you can put the ID and password here. It's something that you can post in your Google Classroom. Things being virtual, it's going to be a little bit different than what folks would normally do, but just be aware that it's there. Okay. So the first thing I want to show you is the K-8 eBooks collection from EBSCO. So under 4 K-12 students, under elementary, here we have the EBSCO eBooks K-8 collection. And because I'm home, I do need to sign in. So I can browse, and this is fiction and nonfiction. I do want to point out down here is the support information on how to download titles. The nice thing about this collection is that there are no limits on simultaneous users. So you could assign a book to a class, no problem. They're not going to be limited by number of users. So just keep that in mind. Currently, we have the checkout period set for 3 months, but if we find that that's not adequate, we can certainly change that and we can make it to up to a year. So I can browse fiction. It seems my internet's a little slow. I think my son's playing Minecraft. Now, I do want to point out this category here on the left side. So I can look for action adventure, historical, short stories, coming of age, classics. Courtney, if you would put your name and school in the chat box, that's how we are doing roll call. And we'll do that again at the end of the session. So I might be interested in this Anne of Green Gables graphic novel. And I have a couple of options here. I can do the PDF full text, or I can download the book. So let me look at the PDF full text. And depending on how the book is laid out, you'll see a table of contents here on the left. Some of the nonfiction books, there's chapters. Some of the fiction books are chapters. And I could download a PDF of just a chapter if I wanted to. So bottom right-hand corner, I'm going to resize my page. I can use my arrow keys to move through it, or I can use the arrows at the bottom of the screen. So from here, you'll see some options along the top of the page. There is a permalink, which I've just highlighted. Never, ever, ever, ever copy and paste the link in the web browser. Always get the permalink, because the permalink will take you to this item specifically. And in this situation, because I'm on page 11 of the graphic novel, it actually will take somebody else to this particular page. So if I wanted to share a permalink, I would do it from the cover page. But you can take this, and if you're building a website for class, or you want to direct students to this in Google Classroom, use the permalink. Pardon me. You can also use the Google Classroom integration. So I want to create an assignment. And I'm going to do it for the whole class. And you see, it's got a link. It doesn't actually embed the PDF. And then what will happen for a student is that when they click on that link, they'll be prompted to log in, and then they'll come to this graphic novel. And then the other option I want to show you here in the upper right-hand corner is full download. Now this one's a little tricky. So if you've ever done audiobooks or digital books from your public library, like Overdrive or Libby, you do have to have an account. So if you did want the students to check out the book and have it on their device, they will need to create an account and sign in. But the fact that you can get a PDF and do linking, it's really up to you if you want to do this. So I've signed in, and now I click full download. And it's on my hard drive now. I do need to load Adobe Digital Editions to view it, but now this is checked out to me for 3 months. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. If you want to do permalink, Google Classroom, or for older students, have them do the full download to their device. All right, new search. In the spring during NTI, my son was assigned a project to do a Google slide presentation on a particular state, and he is particularly fond of Chicago. So he decided to do Illinois, and we exhausted the encyclopedia information pretty quickly. So I said, well, let's see if we've got an ebook on Illinois. And so we have quite a few here. Make that a little bigger. So there's many options here. Abdo Publishing is very popular with librarians. So here we've got an Abdo book. What Am I, Illinois? And you can see that I have PDF options or full downloads. So if I look at the Prairie State, so this is one that has a pretty extensive table of contents. And for some of his questions, some of the information he needed to get, we went straight to the fast facts. Let me resize that. And then now I'm just using my mouse to scroll through the pages. But again, you can use these arrow keys. So permalink, always important to use the permalink, or you can use the Google Classroom integration. And I know this is repetitive, but just in case folks miss something, so I'm going to have them read this chapter on fast facts on Illinois. And then I can do the full download, and I'm already logged in, so I can just grab that and it goes to my hard drive. And folks, if you've got questions, you can put it in the chat, but also feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions. I love interaction. I love questions. I like real world scenarios. So just stop me and ask. I am more than happy to answer questions. That's my favorite thing. And for those of you who might have joined a little late, just a reminder, with this ebook collection, there is no limit on the number of users of a particular title. So if you need a particular textbook or a fiction book, all the students in the class can use it. You're not going to get, oh, you need to place a hold on this message like you do with Overdrive. We've got an unlimited subscription. All right, the next thing I want to show you, I'm going to go to the high school page. And this academic collection for eBooks is not on that K12 poster because this really is geared more for college level, but we do include it on the high school page, especially for those students doing AP classes or dual credit. Okay, so say I'm looking for something on social and emotional learning. Oh, here's a good one, how to building learning communities, how to integrate academic, social, and emotional learning. So again, I can pull the PDF. And if I liked a particular chapter, one of the things I can do, I can download a whole chapter as a PDF. And then I can email this to somebody else. So you don't have to do the Google Classroom integration. You don't have to use the permalink. You can download chapters and then share it with somebody. So it's just a PDF on my hard drive, nothing special. One of the things you can do if you have access to a printer, if I wanted to print this section, that's integrated here in the interface, I don't have to open the PDF separately. I can just go to print and then print this section. If you do need citation, if you click the Cite menu item, here you have the citation that you can copy and paste. And then also it's got the permalink to this book embedded in the link, or excuse me, embedded in the citation. Again, I can get the permalink and copy and paste this into Google Classroom, into a website I'm building. Just remember that students and colleagues will have to log in first to see it. They'll have to use the Bell County ID and password for KYBL. So choose my class, etc. One of the things I should point out, there is Google Drive integration. So if I wanted to sort of build a collection of resources and I'm not ready to put them in Classroom yet, I'm already logged into my Google account, as you've seen. So I could export this, and this will create if you don't already have an EBSCO folder in your Google Drive, it will create an EBSCO folder, and then it will throw the PDF in your Google Drive folder. And then again, you can download the ebook. But you do need to create an account with EBSCO. And so that account is totally separate from KYVL. It's not something that your Bell County ID and password for KYVL is not going to work there. You're going to have to create something that's personal to you. I'm going to stop for a minute and look at the chat. Does anybody have questions? You all are so quiet. Okay, no questions. I think we might actually be done early. We're moving right along. I'm used to having a lot of questions. Okay. Oh, okay. That's a great question, Hope. Let me show you. I should have written it down before the session, but I didn't. So if you go to kyvl.org and go to the padlock in the upper right-hand corner. Oh, I'm already logged in. Okay, so what's going to happen is go to the padlock. Actually, let me open up Edge. Okay, padlock. Request password, and then put in your school email address. You don't have to put in your name. Click submit, and the ID and password will be emailed to you instantaneously. And students can do that too. We've got the system set up so we recognize student email addresses as well.
Enid.
Yeah.
This is Sheila Carmichael. I do have a question.
Yeah.
And I'm not real sure if this is true or not. We live in a unique area. We've got Kentucky, Virginia and Tennessee all right here together. Is it true that if a student lives in another state that they can't access KYVL, or is that not true?
Oh, no, that's not true. As long as they're part of the district, they have access.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, does anybody else have questions? Absolutely, Tammy, that's right. So it just depends on what somebody's going to be doing. If, I've done this when I've been out and about, where I've gone to McDonald's or somewhere with Wi-Fi and gotten my materials and put them on my phone or my device. And then, we've all downloaded movies or things. So the link goes to the online version, and then the download would put it on your hard drive or on your device. Does anybody else have a question? I will say, if you do have questions later, you can go to About, Contact Us. And this is me. So you can email me directly, or if it's easier to remember, kyvl@ky.gov. And then I get those emails as well. So if you do have questions later on, just get in touch. I'm at your service. Okay, so I'm going to do a new search. And this time I'm actually going to browse the children's and young adult fiction. And this time I'm going to do an advanced search. So say I'm looking for some fiction where Egypt is part of the theme or the location. So I only have one, but sometimes that's all you need. So here we've got an ebook, Stories from Ancient Egypt. And then I've got my table of contents. And again, I can download a chapter as a PDF and share it. Or I can do the permalink or the Google Classroom integration. Or again, Google Drive. I can throw the PDF to my Google Drive. And then one other, I'm going to do new search. And I'm going to browse literature and criticism. And let's say I'm interested in Macbeth and literary criticism on Macbeth. Now here I actually have the play that I can get the ebook of. So, if you've got assignments coming up this year where you're not going to be able to distribute hard copy books, check out these collections for sure. And if you have trouble, let me know and I can give you a hand. Okay, so here is some literary criticism. Let's see. So this has the play, and then there's an essay that goes with it. Okay. I have two more collections to show you. And I think, will definitely be wrapped up before 11. Okay, so the next one I want to show you is TeenBookCloud. And so there's quite a bit of content here. There's thousands of titles. They have what's been recently added. There's a graphic novel section, enhanced ebooks, fiction, nonfiction, drama and poetry. They have the National Geographic videos, and there's audiobooks. These are all streaming, so you cannot download these. So that is a big distinction between the EBSCO ebook collections and TeenBookCloud and Tumble Book Library. These are strictly read online. But same with the EBSCO ebooks. there are no limits on number of users. So you could be in Zoom with your class and everybody could have The Only Living Boy open and everybody be reading together. And it's not a problem. All right, so let's look at fiction. So we've got categories here. We've got teen fiction, teen high-low, classics, middle school fiction, middle school high-low, short stories. And so TeenBookCloud is for middle and high, although there are some titles that would be great to read to elementary kids. So let me just show you one of these books. So here's a synopsis, and then I click Read Online. And I'm just using my arrow key. So there's the book. If the author's name is highlighted, that means we have other titles in the collection from that author. This one in particular, that is not the case. So I'm going to go back to the fiction homepage. And we've got a lot of titles here, including classics. There are some nonfiction materials, so some of these are good for AP or other subject areas. Science, we've got some general. Drama and poetry. So the Shakespeare collection is here. So if I look at Macbeth, go to Read Online, and then I use my arrow keys, or I can use the arrows at the bottom of the page. You can go to a chapter menu and jump to a section. I can bookmark a section. Now the bookmarks are device specific, so they are cookie based. And so if I start on my Chromebook and move to my phone, that bookmark doesn't travel with me. So if I'm reading, I just need to remember what chapter I need to pick up with. So just keep that in mind. There's also text options where I can change my spacing and my font. The color options, if I need something that's low contrast, I can change that. And then I can also do annotations. Again, they're cookie based. So, it's device specific, but if I did need to make notes here, I can do that and save them. All right, enhanced eBooks. These are fun. So enhanced eBooks have narration. So if I look at Small Bones, Read Online, and so the difference here, I will point out, this makes me a little cranky. These green play buttons are actually page turners. So they're not the play button. And I'm using those arrows, but then I can also use the arrows on my keypad. The bottom left blue button is the play button.
July 9th, 1947, sometime after midnight. It was dark, and he didn't know where he was going.
I don't know if you heard that, but that was narration, and it does highlight the text as it goes along. And again, I've got my chapter menu. I can do a bookmark, change my text, change my color, and add notes. And that's the enhanced ebook where it has narration. There's also a graphic novel category. So let's look at The Only Living Boy. So up here in the upper left corner, there's a chapter menu and a page menu. And I am scrolling with my mouse. So that's that section, and then I can use the arrow keys in the upper right-hand corner to advance. There are also National Geographic videos. There's an AP English section, which is titles that are typically assigned to AP English. This one is, you can read online and listen. So this is what the audiobook looks like. So it has a little bit of an introduction, and then I can click play. There's music, there's sound effects. I don't know if you can hear that. And then I can set a bookmark, and again, that's device specific. And then lastly, the category is audiobooks. Yeah, Amanda, you're okay. I am recording this and I'll post it to our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube in a few days and search Kentucky Virtual Library, it will be out there. So you're fine. A lot of the books, I'm sorry, Melissa, I missed your question before. Yes, the books are identified as accelerated reader, if that's a program that you're using. And let me see. So this one just has reading level, but we'll see it in Tumble Book Library. All right. So I want to show you two things more with TeenBookCloud. So I had a student in the spring who was struggling with Macbeth. And I said, well, let's see what sort of options we've got for Macbeth. So I walked her through coming to this page and searching. And so we found several things that she was really excited about. So there's an audiobook of Macbeth. There is an enhanced ebook, which is the narration and the text. And then we also found a Macbeth graphic novel. Oh, so here's the AR level right there. And so she was just thrilled because she had multiple options for embracing Macbeth between the audiobook and the narration and then this graphic novel. So you do have a search where you can search by author, by genre, by lexile. There is an AR search option, AR level. You can search by keywords. So just don't forget about the search. And then the other thing is the index. This lists everything that's in TeenBookCloud. And then if there's audio with it, there's a little speaker icon. But what I want to show you, if you click the book ID number, here is the permalink to this title. So if you wanted to assign this, you can put it in your Google Classroom or on a website, and then that permalink will take the student straight to this book. And what's nice about this is the ID and password is already embedded in the link, so you don't have to worry about the student needing to log in because the ID and password's already there. Okay, we're right on track. I have one more thing to show you all. Unless anybody has questions about TeenBookCloud. Okay. And again, all our ebook collections have no limits on number of users, so you can assign a book to an entire grade level and it's not a problem. All right, the last thing I want to show you, I'm going to go back to 4K12 and I'm going to go to elementary. And the bottom of the page, Tumble Book Library. And this is for K through 6. So there's a featured read-along of the day. New books here, they add about 30 a year. This health and hygiene is a new category that they put together because of COVID. We've got short reads, we've got graphic novels, new ebooks, read-alongs. So here we've got Anne of Green Gables. And so here's the AR levels and the Lexile over here on the right, right-hand bottom corner. If there are other titles by the same author, this will be hyperlinked. Oh, that's interesting. I am going to have to report that because the highlighted author name is supposed to... no, you can't do an AR quiz from here. That's a totally separate situation. Now, there are quizzes here. So let me show you one of the quizzes. So I can take the full quiz, or I can do 5 questions.
What is the name of Diana's home? Diana's home.
I don't know if you can hear that, but I just had the narration of the question and answers. And I should know these. This is one of my favorite books. Okay, so I answered the questions. I got 2 out of 5. I can print my results. So I could save this as a PDF as a student and turn it into my teacher. I can retake the quiz. I can do the full quiz. But most everything within Tumble Book Library has a quiz, and then there's also a book report option. So this is basically just a template that I'm filling out. And I'm doing this, I want to show you was the resolution, glossary, what I liked about the book, and I'm going to stop there and then I'm going to print. So here's my little book report, 10 questions, and then I can turn that in. All right, so storybooks. Storybooks read to you, and there are animations. So I'm going to look at Angus All Aglow, and there's the quizzes in the book report. So I'm going to do read online, and it's going to automatically advance pages once I hit play. So I can pause that. And there's a couple things I can do over here on the left. I can turn the volume off. And then I can also set it to manual to where I advance the pages and not the reader. Because what it will do is autoplay and it will just keep going unless you pause it or stop it. Read-alongs. Let's see. Somebody needs to mute. Okay. Let's look at Addison Adley and the Trick of the Eye. And here we've got the AR and the grade level over here on the bottom right. So if I do read online, so here's the ebook. And then as you saw with TeenBookCloud, I can bookmark, there's a chapter menu. I can change my text and my fonts and my colors. I can add notes. I can use the green buttons to advance my pages. And then in the bottom left is a blue play button, which is the narration. And as you can see, it also highlights the text as it reads. eBooks are just that, no extra special, there's no reader or narration. This is how I actually read to my son a couple years ago, The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. I read it on my phone. So just an ebook, same features that we've seen before. Graphic novels. So we've got a number of graphic novels here. And this one has a book report link, but it does not have a quiz link. And so this looks very familiar as the TeenBookCloud graphic novel interface. So I'm just using my mouse to scroll. There is a nonfiction section. Some of these are books and some of these are videos. And so if you notice, we've got a lot of links here. I can play the video and then it's a little weird, but this second play video is actually a National Geographic video. Okay, so you can see it highlights the text as it reads. And there's quizzes that goes with this. And then lesson plan. So if I look at this lesson plan number 1, write a riddle, how to use details to write a riddle about an animal, etc. Then we have National Geographic videos. There's language learning, but it's just French and Spanish, but it is foreign books in those languages. Playlists are nice if you only have a few minutes, under 10 minutes, and you want to kind of, I don't know, close out a Zoom session. These are organized by number of minutes, so you can choose accordingly. And then there is a puzzles and games section. And these are just really simple little games. So if I do big or little, play the game. So when I tie my shoes and zip my jeans and button my shirt all by myself, that means I'm big. And then you choose the picture that matches the sentence. And I can also have it read to me. I'm sorry, turn the sound off because right now its sound is on. There's also Tumble Search. So I can choose by genre. I can choose by AR level, Lexile level, reading time, subject, book title, by author, or I can go to the index. And just like with TeenBookCloud, this is everything that is in Tumble Book Library. And if I want to link to a particular title, I click the book ID, and then I would copy and paste this link. And then that would take the student directly to this book, and they won't have to log into KYVL. It bypasses that. And they won't have to log into Tumble Book Library. The ID and password is in the link. Okay, well, we finished a little bit early. Does anybody have questions? Feel free to unmute yourself if you've got a question. Okay, if there aren't questions then, everybody please put your name and your school in the chat box. And I will send that to Jennifer Yankee. Oh, thank you all so much. I hope you've learned quite a bit today. I'm really happy with the ebook collections that we've got, and hopefully they will be a benefit to you all moving into the school year. Oh, Hope, you're so welcome. If you need anything, please let me know. After you put your name in the chat box, go ahead and log out so I don't cut people off inadvertently. Dale, if you're still out there, please put your name in the chat box. Thank you. I think you're my last one. I'm going to end the session now. Thank you.